Hey everyone, welcome back to another deck idea brought to you by Double Sleeve. As always, if you enjoy the video, give us a like, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the Black Xeno deck, Xeno Xeno to be more specific, which we've kind of seen complete insane showdown after receiving the first lot of cards in Cross Spirits. Starting off with the leader, we're going to have a 10k Xeno leader with blocker. Auto, when you activate a Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand, you and your opponent place the top card of your decks in the drop area. Auto, choose one black Shadow Dragon card in your hand and discard it. When this card attacks, draw one card, then switch this card to active mode at the end of the turn, giving you that access to that blocker skill. Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less or 7 or more black Shadow Dragon cards are in your drop area, you may draw one card, switch one of your energy to active mode, and flip this card over. We're going to be activating a lot of extra cards in this deck, so on our unawakened side, both us and the opponent's going to be placing the top card of the deck in the drop area, but on our awakened side, we have, again, maintaining that blocker skill, but the auto on this side is when you activate a Shadow Dragon extra card from your hand, your opponent places the top card of the deck in the drop area. So we no longer need to, just our opponent is now milling. Auto, when this card attacks, draw one card. This card gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. At the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. Again, being able to attack, restand at the end of turn, and have access to that blocker. Activate main/battle. Once per turn, Spirit Boost 1. Choose up to one Shadow Dragon extra card in your hand and activate its activate main/battle skill without paying its energy cost. We're going to be activating a lot of extra cards in this deck, so it's good to kind of have another way to activate them without using the energy. Since we have a Spirit Boost on the leader, we're obviously going to be running a Unison. The Unison of the deck is Toa Resonance of Shadow. We have a 10,000 power Unison, 0 specified cost, so you can play it for as many energy as you like. Auto, when your leader activates a blocker skill, place the top card of your deck in your drop area, then add a marker to this card. +1, activate main, draw one card, then choose one card in your hand and up to 3 Shadow Dragon extra cards in your drop area and place them at the bottom of the deck in any order. And -7, activate main, if your leader is a Shadow Dragon card. Choose up to 7 black Shadow Dragons with different character names in your hand and or drop area and play them. So we're going to see, starting off with the auto on this, obviously we're getting some effects with our leader activating that blocker skill. We're going to place the top card of our deck in our drop area. A lot of the cards in this deck have some kind of synergy when they're discarded, so we will get additional effects there, but then we're able to add the marker onto the Unison. The +1, so we're not plussing a card here since we do need to choose one card in hand and put it at the bottom of the deck, but giving us the option to start putting those extra cards at the bottom of the deck so we're not milling ourselves out. And then the -7, similar to how we saw with the yellow Xeno leader, we've got a kind of ultimate effect that plays 7 different Shadow Dragons. In this case, they need to be black Shadow Dragons, but again, with different character names, and we have the option to play them from hand or drop area this time. Moving on, we have Ultimate Dark Dragon Slaying Bullet. This is a counterplay. If your opponent is playing a Unison card, they may either remove a marker from it for every 2 cards in the drop area and warp, or place it in the drop area instead of playing it. If they don't, your opponent can only attack one more time for the turn. Permanent, this card gains Shadow Dragon in all areas, which gives us some synergy to be able to search this card out. We're going to see that across all of the extra cards. And then activate main/battle, limit 1, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards with an energy cost less than the number of cards in their drop area and sends it to the owner's warp. So yeah, starting off with the counterplay, we've got some kind of Unison interaction here, giving them the option to remove markers from it depending on how many cards are in their drop area or warp, or we're limiting their attacks there. So a good card. And then the activate main/battle on this, yeah, really strong. Being able to interact during the battle step to kind of warp your opponent's battle cards is always really good. And then yeah, when we're activating this kind of extra card or any of our extra cards, we're going to be forcing our opponent to mill the top card of their deck. Ultimate Dragon Tackle, same permanent, gains Shadow Dragon in all areas. Activate main/battle, limit 1. If your opponent has a Unison in play, your opponent places the top card of their deck in the drop area. Your opponent may choose one of their Unison cards and remove 2 markers from it. If they don't, draw one card and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. Again, giving your opponent the kind of option on which one they want to choose. They may not be in a position where they want to lose markers from their unison, so it does give you the kind of option to get the draw one and warp a battle card. But yeah, giving the choice to your opponent obviously isn't as strong as you forcing them into an effect when you activate a card. But we do see, yeah, some cool effects and some cool synergy. You can catch your opponents off guard with these kind of cards. This one does also place the top card of your opponent's deck in the drop area. So you're getting an additional mill there, one from the leader and then one from this card. Ultimate Dragon Quake, same permanent, activate main/battle, limit 1. If your leader is a Shadow Dragon card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy and send it to the owner's warp. At the end of the turn, play any cards sent to a warp by this skill to their owner's battle area with their skills negated for the turn. If your opponent has 15 or fewer cards in the deck, place them in the owner's drop area instead. Yeah, a really strong card here. So we're not giving the opponent the option for this one. We're just going to straight up warp their battle card. And then if they've got 15 cards or less in the deck, then that battle card doesn't come back with it at all. It just goes straight to the drop area. Really good card there. Ultimate Whirlwind Spin. Activate main/battle. Not going to go over the permanent for these ones. Limit 1. If your leader is black, look up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Add up to 1 black Shadow Dragon battle card among them to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. You may choose 1 black Shadow Dragon card in your hand and discard it. If you do, choose up to one of your leader cards and it gets plus 1000 power for the turn. Yeah, so good being able to search the top card. We're only able to add black Shadow Dragon battle cards from the deck to our hand, but then that card that we discard can be an extra card since it has the permanent for the Shadow Dragons. And then we say, yeah, the plus 1000, which, you know, if you're putting this on defensively or offensively, it kind of does work as a plus 5000 until we start getting into those 16 and 19k battle cards that we're starting to see. But if your opponent's leader is swinging into your leader and you're at 16,000 power, they are going to need a combo to start dealing damage. And then we have Negative Energy Explosion, same permanent, activate main/battle, limit 1. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card, look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, then choose 1. Add up to 1 Shadow Dragon extra card among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. If you don't have a unison in play, play up to 1 Toa Resonance of Shadow among them with a marker on it and then shuffle your deck. So pretty cool if we miss the unison, or if we're feeling a bit risky, we can activate this card, force our opponent to mill a card, and then, you know, hopefully hit that unison on the top 7. But we always have that alternative to add up to 1 Shadow Dragon extra card to our hand. Ultimate Ice Ray. So now moving on to some of the extra cards that we're seeing in Sane Showdown. A lot of the previous ones were from Cross Spirits. Same permanent, activate main/battle, limit 1. Your opponent places the top card of their deck in their drop area. Additionally, you may choose 2 black cards in your hand and discard them. If you do, your opponent can only attack with battle cards 1 more time for the turn. Another strong kind of effect where we're getting the extra mill on the battle card here, on the extra card here, as well as our leader. Discarding 2 cards is quite a expensive kind of cost to just limit our opponent to 1 more battle card attack for the turn. But if our opponents build up quite a board, then that might be essential. And we're also going to see into the battle cards that when they do get discarded, we get additional effects there as well. But yeah, overall, look, being able to kind of have different options in this deck is always really strong. We've got ways of searching out our extra cards and things like that. So yeah, definitely a card that you might want to have 1 or 2 of. Ultimate Flame Shot, same permanent. Activate main/battle, limit 1. If your leader is a black Shadow Dragon card and you place 1 card from your life in your drop area, place the top card of your opponent's deck in their drop area, and your leader doesn't take damage from your opponent's attacks until the end of the battle or end of the turn, whichever comes first. So yeah, a really strong kind of black card that we've seen before in one of the Masked Saiyan Brainwash No More, and just how good that card is. You know, you can, if your opponent swinging in with double strike, triple strike for game, and they do forget about this card, then you can kind of just activate battle and place 1 card in your life in the drop area, and then you don't have to worry about losing that battle. Everyone's kind of familiar with brainwash no more at this point, but people might forget about this card. So definitely something that you can kind of sneak past your opponent there. Next, we have Ultimate minus Energy Powerball. Of course, we've got the SPR version of this card. Counterattack, if your leader card is mono black, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 15,000 power or less, ignoring barrier, and send it to the owner's warp. Permanent, gains Shadow Dragon in all areas, and then another permanent. If you have a black unison in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. And then activate main/battle, limit 1, choose up to one of your black leader cards or battle cards, and it gets plus 15,000 power until the end of the battle or end of the turn, whichever comes first. Again, a really strong black card, where anything 15,000 power or less, ignoring barrier, is just automatically sent to the warp, and we're able to activate this for free if we've got the black unison out. Yeah, really strong. This card does have Shadow Dragon in all areas, and when we activate a Shadow Dragon extra card, our opponent places the top card of the deck in the drop area. So we're getting a little bit of mill there. We're getting the one card off the leader. We're warping a card. So a couple of different effects. Then we've also got the activate main/battle kind of tagged along as well. So if we're not using that counter attack, then this card still has some other use as well. Being able to give that plus 15,000 power offensively or defensively. Yeah, really strong. We can give it to battle cards or leaders. Next, we see a yellow Shadow Dragon cards. Now, this one doesn't have that same permanent as before, so we're not going to be able to search this one out as easily as the others. But this is a card that I was using in my yellow Shenron, and the reason that it kind of does work in this deck as well is that the leader just needs to be a Shadow Dragon card. It doesn't specify black. But reading onto the skill, we've got permanent. If you have 3 or more energy in rest mode, you can activate this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. Activate main/battle. If your leader is a Shadow Dragon card, choose up to one Shadow Dragon card in your leader area or battle area, and it gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. If you paid the energy cost to activate this skill, choose up to one card in your opponent's battle area, and again, it skills for the turn. We're not charging any yellow, at least we don't plan to, so we're not going to be able to pay the energy cost to activate this skill. But yeah, more often than not, if we're going to have 3 or more energy in rest mode, it's quite a strong effect to just give our leader that plus 5,000 power for the turn, and then forcing our opponent to start comboing if they're attacking with a bunch of 15k. So yeah, it's something to worth trying, seeing if you like it in the deck. It worked really well for me in the yellow Shenron. So when I saw that it wasn't tied to a yellow or specific kind of deck, it can work with any Shadow Dragon leader. Something I thought maybe chucking this in. For Power Burst, pretty standard for black decks. Counterattack, if your leader is black, negate the attack, choose up to one black battle card in your drop area or warp with the energy cost of 1, add it to hand. And then we've got the permanent Sparking 5, so just 5 cards in the drop area at a minimum. You can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding a card from your life instead of paying its energy. Really strong. There is one drop that we're going to want to keep on the field, so if it does get removed, then we've got the option to get it back. Another really strong counter attack that we saw come out in Cross Spirits is Oceanus Negative Energy Explosion. 5k blocker, counter attack, choose one card in your hand and discard it, negate the attack, play this card. If you played a card, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they place the top 4 cards of their deck in the drop area each time. Permanent, during your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3, so becoming a 2 cost. And auto, if your leader is a Shadow Dragon card, when this card is played from your hand or discarded by a Shadow Dragon card skill, you may look at the top card of your deck. If it's a black Shadow Dragon card, you may add it to your hand, otherwise place it at the bottom of the deck. So starting off with the counter attack, obviously we're getting this effect if the card is played. It is all a part of the counter attack skill, but the card needs to be played to get the additional effect. And that additional effect is really strong in this deck when your opponent might not have that many cards left in their deck. They probably don't want to be milling the top 4 for every swing. When this card came out, a lot of people thought that they could swing through this card, and yeah, you realize quite quickly that your deck dwindles down to almost nothing very fast. So yeah, I think a lot of people are a bit more cautious of this card. Obviously having blocker on there as well, which means that we can kind of survive additional attack if they do try and push through. But we see this auto, which is going to be on a fair few of the next battle cards that we go over. So when this card is played or discarded by a Shadow Dragon's card skill, which a lot of our extra cards do discard, and they do have that permanent attached, so that this will count. We get to look at the top card of the deck, and if it's a black Shadow Dragon card, which we mostly run, we get to add it to hand. So we're replacing a lot of the cards that we're using, which is good, just to kind of maintain the same hand size throughout the game. But yeah, a really strong counter attack. Oceanus Shenron, Power of Darkness, we have the super combo. Now this one is a 0 cost, 0 combo, but we have the effect auto sparking 5. If your leader is black, when this card is used in a combo from your hand, draw 1 card, and this card gets plus 10,000 combo power for the battle. Auto limit 1. If your leader is black and you choose one of your black unison cards, when you remove a marker from one of your unisons using a Spirit Boost skill, you may place this card from your hand under the chosen card. If you do, add a marker to the chosen card, then draw 1. So if you're nearing that ultimate, ability on the unison, the -7, kind of giving you another option there. If you kind of, well, actually, no, that wouldn't work because you need to activate the Spirit Boost, but it means that you can maintain those markers if you are activating Spirit Boost quite a bit. You can kind of put this card under and then stay at the same amount of markers. But yeah, pretty standard. Gains 10,000 power. You draw 1. Pretty standard for super combos. Next, we see Haze Shenron, Power of Darkness. Now, this is a 1 cost. This one is quite crucial for the deck. We're going to be using this card's skill to play a lot of our Shadow Dragons. Starting off, though, we have the auto of when this card is played or discarded by a Shadow Dragon skill. We get to look at the top card of the deck. If it's a black Shadow Dragon card, we get to add it to hand. But this activate main once per turn for 1 black energy is going to be quite relevant. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card and you switch this card to rest mode, choose up to 1 black Shadow Dragon card with an energy cost of 3 or less in your hand and play it. There's going to be a bunch of different 3-cost Shadow Dragon cards that we're going to be able to play, and they all have varying effects. So yeah, we definitely want to keep this card on the field, and we definitely want to kind of continue to abuse this skill. The good thing is our leader has blocker, so we're able to kind of divert attacks away from this card. It is only 4k, so it's very easily to be swung into. Moving on to some of the 3-cost battle cards that we can play. We've got Sin Shenron, Power of Darkness. We've got 20k Double Strike, auto limit 1 for 1 black. If your leader is a black Shadow Dragon card, when you remove a marker from one of your unison cards using a Spirit Boost skill, play this card from your hand. Your opponent places the top card of their deck in the drop area. And then we see the same auto that we've seen on some of the other cards of when it's discarded or played, add the top card if it's a black Shadow Dragon. So yeah, kind of 2 ways to play this out. One with the haze that we just went over, but also if we're activating that Spirit Boost, then we can pay 1 energy and play this. Yeah, 1 energy for a 20k Double Strike is very good. Natron, Negative Energy Explosion, another 3-cost. This one is Deflect Blocker. Same auto, when it's discarded or played, check the top card, black Shadow Dragon, add it to hand. When this card is played from your hand, this is an auto, sorry, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less in their battle area or drop area and place it under this card. Choose up to 1 of the chosen card's keyword skills, and this card gains that skill until the end of your opponent's next turn. A really strong effect there if your opponent's playing a lot of battle cards with keyword skills, things like crit, dual attack, anything like that. It is on battle cards that are 5 or less, which does kind of widen the range of battle cards that we can interact with. Previously, we've seen cards interact with 4 or less, like the Green Boo Leader, for example, which was strong in its own right, but now we've got a whole other higher energy costs that we can interact with and gain their skills. They don't get the card back either, so it does sit under this card. Yeah, really strong if we're able to get some board removal. It's got Deflect, it's going to hit the field, and then yeah, another 20k blocker. Then we have 3-cost Haze Shenron, Negative Energy Explosion, so making our way through some of the Shadow Dragons. This one is Critical Blocker. Same auto when it gets discarded or played, and then auto when this card attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, send it to the owner's ward, and then switch this card to active mode at the end of the turn. Another really strong card. We've got, yeah, critical on this, so we're able to swing into opponent's leader, deal that critical damage, and if they've got anything that's troublesome on their side of the field, we're able to immediately warp it. And then, yeah, when we pass turn, this gets to restand, and we've got the blocker available. Really, really strong. And then we have Nova Shenron Negative Energy Explosion to round out our 3-cost Shadow Dragons that were able to play off the haze. Critical again, this one's 16k. Yep, same auto, so when it's played from hand or discarded, we get that search ability from the top card of the deck. And then we've got auto, if your leader is a black Shadow Dragon card, when this card is played, play up to 1 Toa, Resonance of Shadow from your drop area with a marker on it. So we've got some kind of way to get the Unison back from the drop area if it does get removed and we don't have one in hand. Just, yeah, a really strong kind of option to play off that haze. If we weren't able to get the Unison out and keep it there, we've got another option to get a 16k 16k critical body onto the field and then recycle that Unison. Next we see a 4-cost Sin Shenron Negative Energy Explosion. This is kind of one of the bigger baddies in the deck. A whole lot of keyword skills on this one. 20k, deflect, double strike, barrier, blocker. So this card's going to hit the field. It's going to be a pain to get rid of. It's going to swing double strike. It's going to block your opponent's attacks. It's just going to do a whole bunch of different things. When it gets played or discarded, we're going to be able to search the top card for a Shadow Dragon. We also have activate main / battle once per turn Spirit Boost 1. Switch this card to active mode and your opponent places the top card of their deck in the drop area. Choose up to 1 Shadow Dragon extra card in your hand and activate its activate main / battle skill without paying its energy cost. So yeah, again, we're going to be milling our opponent with our battle card here just by removing a marker. We're going to be able to activate an extra card, mill another card from our leader. But yeah, other than that, a really strong card, really painful to remove. Overall, a pretty good one. Next, we have another yellow card that I was using in my yellow Sin Shenron deck. Yeah, so we've got Double Strike, EX Evolve over Haze Shenron with an energy cost of 3. I will point out that the Haze Shenrons in this deck are Haze Shenron Xeno, so we're not going to be able to evolve over them. But that's not why we have this card. The reason that we have this card is the second auto on it. If your leader is a Shadow Dragon card and you choose 1 Shadow Dragon card in your hand and discard it, when this card attacks or is used in a combo, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with an energy cost greater than their current energy and KO it. Can't tell you how many times this card has won me battles, saved me from dying and things like that. People often forget about it, and they're probably not going to expect it in the black Sin Shenron deck. It doesn't require a yellow leader, so we are able to use this with our leader. And yeah, really good. Being able to KO an opponent's battle card with energy cost higher than their current energy is really strong and can kind of sneak past your opponent. And we do have to discard 1 Shadow Dragon card from hand to activate this skill. But as we've seen, a lot of our battle cards have an additional effect when they are discarded, allowing you to search the top card and potentially replace itself. Next we have Omega Shenron Darkness Absorbed, an 8-cost 30k. We see unique, we see the same auto as before, played or discarded, we get that top card of the deck search. Activate main for 1 black. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon card and you choose 1 black Shadow Dragon card with an energy cost of 5 or less in your battle area and place it in the owner's drop, play this card from your hand. If you do, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the owner's warp. Again, some more removal for battle cards on the opponent's side of the field. We get another 30k swing, which is kind of difficult for your opponent to combo out of. We saw a card similar to this in the yellow Sin Shenron deck, but that one had an additional effect to copy skills of your cards in the drop area. So perhaps they realized that effect was quite a bit overpowered. They've decided to drop that kind of effect, but we do have the option to warp a card from the opponent's battle area. And then we have Omega Shenron Ultimate Darkness. This one is a SR that's coming out in Insane Showdown. 8 cost again, unique, triple strike, same auto. Activate main for 2 specified black. If your leader is a Shadow Dragon card and you have 3 or more energy, and you send 7 black Shadow Dragon cards from your drop area to your warp, play this card from your hand. Again, another card similar to what we saw in the yellow Shadow Dragon deck. This one costing an additional energy, you're not being able to draw a card, and we do have a restriction, so we do need 3 or more energy. but being able to pay 2 for a 30k triple strike, you know, really strong. This deck kind of has a bit of a, you know, some milling involved, some strong battle card effects that can hit pretty hard against your opponent. So you're not relying on just one strategy. You can kind of go in between depending on where the game's going. And then the last card of the deck, we have the secret rare Xin Shenron, Corrupted by the Darkness. Ultimate blocker permanent. This card is also treated as black in all areas. Permanent, this card will be removed from your battle area. Remove it from the game instead. And then we have auto for 1 energy. At the end of a battle in which this card is used in a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area. If you do, choose any number of your opponent's leader cards, battle cards, and unison cards equal to or less than their current energy ignoring barrier and switch them to rest mode. Activate main for 4 energy. This card gains double strike and dual attack for the turn. It is a 1-cost 10k combo, so to get this card onto the field using that combo effect, we do need to pay 2 energy in total, but playing this defensively against your opponent on that first swing can be really good if they've got a couple of different battle cards set up, they've got the unison set up. You know, we can rest 3, 4, 5 cards quite easily, especially if we're resting the leader card, you know, dual attacking unisons and things like that. We're preventing them from pushing for game. But that's pretty much it. That's the entire deck. Play around with it. There's a lot of extra cards that have been missed out. There's a couple of battle cards that have been missed out. We've got such a wide pool of Xin Shenron cards that we have that are available. So play around with it. Let me know what you think, and hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.